Welcome to Backyard Brothers podcast. We are one brother short today. Yancey couldn't be with us, but he will join us in spirit, and we will get his predictions for the NBA playoffs, which we'll be talking about a lot today. We'll get his predictions probably tomorrow before the next game starts, and so that'll be helpful. Before we start the NBA playoffs, though, we have to talk about a championship that was won over this last weekend, as well as a memory and a biography, just kind of all rolled into one. Dustin, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so the Masters was this past weekend. It's a tradition unlike any other, as Jim Nantz says. And it's the granddaddy of them all. However you want to say it, the Masters is the Super Bowl of golf. It is the greatest golf tournament. They call it the Masters for a reason. And Rory McIlroy won the Masters this year. To any golf fans that are listening, you also shed a tear with me because you're happy for him. So let's, Scott, if we can, let's watch this video of Rory's reaction when he sunk the birdie putt in the playoff against Justin Rose to officially seal his Masters victory.
Are you seeing that?
Yes.
I wonder if I have to. I hope it's shared audio. So I'm going to start playing. You let me know if you hear it. Do you hear it?
Did not know.
So let's hold on.
It's okay if we don't hear it, but
okay. Share screen. Also share tab audio. Okay, that's good. So we should be hearing it. If you don't, whatever. But it says we should. So
okay.
The long journey is over. McIlroy has his masterpiece.
He's been holding that reaction in since 2014.
Good. Thank you. We can go. We don't have to share. We can stop sharing and just talk again.
Yeah.
So it may seem like a little bit of a dramatic reaction, but again, this is the Masters. This is the Super Bowl of golf. I think we've seen athletes when they've won in all their individual sports, World Series, NBA Finals, Super Bowl, whatever it is, react in similar ways. There's that, but there's also an extra added part to this, which is Rory McIlroy now became one of 6 in history to accomplish the career Grand Slam, to win each of the 4 majors during his career. The U.S. Open, the Open Championship, the PGA Championship, and the Masters Tournament. Only 6 people have ever done that in history.
Yeah, and those 6 are pretty much legends. So,
yes, so Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, and Rory McIlroy are the 6. And so, those are names that are synonymous with greatness in golf. And so to be included in that as one of the career Grand Slam winners, puts him on a pedestal above that of Hall of Fame. And so absolutely fantastic. Congratulations. Incredibly happy that he's accomplished this. And it took him 11 years. So he won his last major, in 2014. And so it took him 11 years from the last time he won a major to winning his next major in order to accomplish it. Fantastic. Proud of him. Happy for him. And yeah, go ahead. I've been talking too much. What's your reactions to video and what we're talking about?
I'll go really quick first. I mean, those of us who play golf, and I think most people have tried at least playing golf, not play regularly. Golf is not an easy sport. It's not easy at all. It's difficult. And just like we talk about with any other sport, let's go football, for example. It's not easy to win the Super Bowl. Just like that, it's not easy to win a Masters championship. In fact, I'd probably say it's even more difficult because it's really you. It's only you. So it's incredible that he was able to do that and win that. And for me, what I saw when he celebrated, he was on the ground, he was holding his head, he was crying. What I saw was he's not just overwhelmed with happiness that he won, but he's overwhelmed with seeing that all of his hard work and sweat, tears, and all of that he has put in, because it takes a lot of practice and a lot of time. All of that time that he's put in, and that's what it was a realization for him is finally after all of that work. And I mean, he's putting in overtime work every day. I'm sure of it, and he does that to get to where he is now. So it's well deserved. He absolutely deserves it.
Yeah, for me, I just think about the putt that was probably what was that, 4 feet, 5 feet away, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I think about how easy of a putt that is. But in that situation, like, how nervous do you have to be about making that putt? I know if it was me, like, we're not talking Masters. We're talking about, holy crap, I got on the green for par.
Yeah.
I better make this putt. and I'm that nervous, and I can't imagine the nerves that were going through him. But he's made that putt, 10,000 times in his career, and 10,000 more times in practice when it didn't count. And so you just think it's a lot easier for someone to win like that when they've gone through it. But still, that moment of sinking the shot at the buzzer, or scoring the touchdown, or hitting the putt at the Masters, it's all those beautiful moments that we think of.
Well, it's good that you mentioned that. So that was the playoff hole against Justin Rose. On 18, he had a one-shot victory over Rose and had a 6-foot putt for par and missed it and got a bogey, which sent them to the playoff. And so he missed, that putt that you're talking about. And that all of it wasn't like, hey, you're a professional golfer, you're supposed to make that. Hey, not only is $4 million on the line if you make it, but also, all of this legendary status that we're talking about now. You can't imagine how fast his heart was beating while he putted that, and he ended up missing it, in order to get the bogey that forced that playoff. But then he hit the absolute perfect shot during the playoff to get within 4 feet for that birdie putt. He wasn't going to do it twice, and sunk it there. So, absolute congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what's going on in my background. Probably picking up all the noise from downstairs, but that's okay. I'll mute when I'm not talking. But I might be talking a lot over the next couple of minutes, though. So hopefully it quiets down a little bit. We're gonna talk about NBA playoffs now. We're gonna review a couple of things before talking, and hopefully this will go relatively quickly. So let's jump in. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this was the first play-in game on Tuesday, Hawks and the Magic. This was a situation, they split the season series. Hawks finished with the third fastest pace. They both were really hot entering this game. Hawks won 4 of their last 5. Magic won 5 of their last 6 entering this game. You can see some of the good and the bad. The Magic, number 1 in points allowed, best defense in the NBA this year. And so that's important to come from. Also lead in blocks, number 2 in defensive rating. Hawks are very good offense. This is a good defense versus a good offense. Classic. You can see the players here. Trae Young, the leader for the Hawks. Paolo Banchero, leader for the Magic, along with Franz Wagner. The game, though, wasn't close. The Magic dominated. And you can see 3 of us picked the Hawks to win that game. Only Yancey picked the Magic to win correctly. So Magic dominated. Anything about this game that you want to point out? The only thing that I'd say is Cole Anthony was the one that stepped up in that game. The backup point guard played his mind out and won that game fairly easily. They're the number one defense. They're not usually a great offense, but when you score 120 points and you're a good defense, a lot of things are happening for you.
Yeah, that's what I would call it, is they held them to 95. Trae Young got really frustrated and got himself ejected in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Is this only a single elimination game?
These play-in games are single elimination, yes.
Okay.
Yes and no. Now the Hawks have to
Right.
fight to get the 8th seed, so they play the winner of Heat and Bulls, which was the Heat, and so they'll play the Heat
Tomorrow.
The 8th seed.
Yeah. So it was a win, and you're in. The Magic are now the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. That's what you get for winning this game. And because the Hawks were the 8th seed coming in, they get 2 chances to get in as the 8th seed. This was the other 7-8 matchup between the Grizzlies and the Warriors. The Grizzlies won 4 of their last 6 games. The Warriors on the other side lost the last game of the year in overtime to fall into the play-in. They would have been outside of it if they had won that game. But they won the season series over the Grizzlies 3-1. 2 good offenses here, along with a good defense from the Warriors. You can see what Jimmy Butler has done. The Warriors are they've won like 16 of 22 games since Jimmy Butler has come over. So they are really, really good with Jimmy Butler over there. This was a really good game. It didn't look like it. The Warriors were up by about 20 in the third quarter, and the Grizzlies came back and almost took control of it. But it was a great game. It was fun to watch. Me and Dustin got the Warriors correctly on that one. Cody, you're so far 0-2.
Yeah.
Anything about this game other than Stephen Curry is just insane?
Yeah. Nothing to add that you didn't already say.
Same.
Okay, the Heat and the Bulls. This is a 9-10. So Cody, this is a elimination game. The loser of this game was eliminated from the playoffs. The winner had a chance to has a chance on Friday to compete for the 8th seed. And this is the 3rd straight year that these 2 teams have played in a play-in game. Heat won 8 of their last 12 to get into the playoffs. The Bulls swept the season series. Tyler Hero has been really good. But even though they swept the season series, it didn't matter because the Heat won this game fairly easily too, 109-90. Cody and Dustin got that one right. So me and Yancey did not. What about this game?
Bulls just kind of struggled. They couldn't really put anything together in order to stay close in this game. He played good. But I felt like they played on par with their season play, which is not great. But the Bulls just did not play well.
Yeah. You can't score 90 points and expect to win a playoff game. Can't do it. Okay, and then Mavericks and Kings. This is the other 9-10. The Mavericks had gone 12-18 since trading Luka away, and the screams of firing their general manager have come throughout the whole thing. Once again, the Kings swept the season series 3-0. Once again, it did not matter. The Mavericks won this game easily, 120-106. They had a lead since the end of the first quarter, never gave it up. And none of us predicted that.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that the Kings, given their history, would be able to dominate, but no, it was just a 3-point barrage from the Mavericks and very impressive play.
So, do you think that silences the critics for the GM with Mavericks?
No.
They get to go play the Thunder now, which the Thunder are looking for revenge for losing the Western Conference.
No, they have to play the Grizzlies in order to fight for the 8th seed.
They have to. That's true. Sorry. Yes, they have to fight for the 8th seed to go play the Thunder. So, yeah, thank you for correcting me. Okay, so speaking of those last play-in games, the Heat and the Hawks. Loser goes home, winner becomes the 8th seed, and will take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, once again, the Heat have won 8 of their last 12. They're kind of hot right now. The Hawks also are hot. They finished the season winning 4 of their last 5, but then dropped the game to Orlando. You can see the good and the bad there. The Heat are really good defense. The Hawks are really good offense, and they're bad on the other side. So, which one is going to win out, defense or offense? Tyler Hero had was it 38 points in that game? It was something crazy like that. So Tyler Hero is really good. Andrew Wiggins also stepped up and played a really good game. On the other side, Trae Young played well. He had 28 points, but he also lost his composure, like Justin said. So here we go, where we're picking. Let's start alphabetically from reverse. So I will go first on this one. I just don't trust the Hawks. I just don't. I'm going Heat. Dustin?
I'm in the same way. I'm going Heat. I think that in a high pressure situation like this, defense will win out.
Yeah. Cody?
I agree, Heat. Are we doing that? We're doing score?
No, we don't have to do score on these ones. No. Last one of the play-in games, Mavericks and Grizzlies. Again, the winner of this game, the loser goes home. The winner goes on to play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. The Mavericks didn't matter that they have lost a lot since trading Luka. They won the play-in game. There wasn't a lot to pick from, honestly. Number 7 in blocks, number 24 in turnover percentage, and the Grizzlies. Really good offense there, except they turned the ball over a ton. So, John Morant played well, even through the loss. Desmond Bane was really good. Those two stepped up. Anthony Davis played well. Klay Thompson, I think, went 5 of 8 from 3 in that game. So, yeah, here we go again. Dustin, you're up.
As a Thunder fan, I think I'd rather play the Grizzlies, actually, so I'm going to choose the Grizzlies to win in this one. And so I also think that it's just don't know what Ja's going to be able to do. It's more about Zach Edey being able to control his fouls.
Mm-hmm. Cody?
I was actually going to say Grizzlies as well, but my thought, and I don't know as much as you, obviously, Dustin, but my thought is I would think that the Thunder would rather play the Mavericks than the Grizzlies, and they're not going to get their wish.
My thoughts on that is that Anthony Davis is the wild card. He hasn't played for the Mavericks all season. He got injured right away, and so you have no idea what he's like on that team. You haven't seen any film like that, other than this one game, and so you have no way to prepare for that. I'd rather know what I'm going up against.
Yeah. Whether I want it or not, I'm sweeping it here. I think the Grizzlies win this game. I just think they're a better team. So they win that game. Okay. Starting the actual playoffs. Does someone else want to take us through rather than me talking the whole time?
Sure, I can.
Yeah. So you just tell me when to go.
All right, let's go ahead and click in Bucks versus Pacers. Pacers have won 7 of their last 8, have been on a big win streak in order to get to this 4 seed in the playoffs. Whereas the Bucks won the last 8 straight to get to the 5th seed. So both of these teams are hot, and the Bucks own the season series 3-1. The good on the Bucks side, they're very good in 3-point percentage, although I believe Damian Lillard is questionable for the playoffs, or maybe even out. I think he has like a blood clot that they can't clear him with.
Yep.
On the bad is free throw percentage. I would add free throw timing there on the bad. But glad you got that joke, Scott. on the Pacers side, in the good, they're good at points, good at not committing turnovers, good in assists. Overall, a great offensive team. Their offensive rating, 121 points per 100 possessions. So scoring more than 1.2 points per possession is very good. The bad is they allow a lot of points, and they're not a great rebounding team. Here's some of your stars. Again, Damian Lillard, most likely not going to be seen in this playoff. He has to be medically cleared, and it's it's a pretty serious issue. Brooke Lopez and Torian Prince will have to step up there. On the Pacers side, Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton lead this team. Miles Turner has been on the team for a long time. I think he's 10 to 12 years on the team, and is a fantastic defender. Go on.
Okay. I think we're starting with you, Cody. And this time you do say how many games out of 7, between 4 and 7.
All right. And remind me what the seeds are here.
This is it 4-5? I think.
Yeah.
The Bucks are 5. The Pacers are 4.
I'm gonna say the Bucks are gonna win this game, and it's gonna
Series.
Series. And I think it's gonna be in 6.
Okay. Last year, I think these two teams played in the playoffs as well, and Giannis was hurt in the last year's playoffs. This year, it's Damian Lillard. They can't catch a break, and because of that, I think the Pacers are winning this series. And I think I'm still saying the same number of games as Cody. They'll win on the Bucks' home floor in Game 6. Dustin?
I will also say the Pacers. Not only do they have health on their side, with Damian Lillard most likely being out on the Bucks, but to throw darts here, the Bucks are coached by Doc Rivers, and he's notorious for first-round exits. I mean, yeah, you could look at his whole career. He's always the 4 or the 5 seed, and is always having a first-round exit. That's what Doc Rivers does. So, Pacers win in 5 games.
And of course, the Bucks will be up 3-1, right? I guess they'll be up. Doc Rivers does that too. He chokes. So.
Yeah, I think Bucks win Game 3. But
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take this one. Clippers and Nuggets. This is going to be a fun series. This is the 4-5. And the Nuggets being the 4 seed, Clippers being the 5, best of 7 series. The Clippers ended the season on an 8-game winning streak, so they're coming in really hot. They're really good on defense in particular. Number 4 in points allowed, number 3 in steals, number 5 in 3-point percentage allowed. The bad, they're actually not a great offensive team, just 20th in points, 22nd in turnovers. They turn the ball over a lot. On the other side, the Nuggets just fired Michael Malone. We talked about it last week with 3 games left. However, they won the last 3 games after they fired him. So maybe it sparked something. I don't know. These two teams split the season series 2-2. The Nuggets are the best shooting team in the NBA. They shoot better than 50% from the floor overall. And that's number 1. Also number 1 in assists and number 3 in points. The bad is they're not a very good defense. They've allowed the 25th or the 5th most points in this case. They have the same record. You can see 50-32. On this side, the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard hasn't played a whole lot this season, but he's finally healthy and back playing. Who knows if that'll last the whole playoffs or not, but he's playing really well now that he's in. Norman Powell has had the best season of his career. He's a most improved player candidate in the NBA this year. 21.8 points, 41% from 3. Ivica Zubac, James Harden has played well. 22, 5, and 8. Not bad at all. On the other side, Nikola Jokic just finished the season averaging a triple-double. He's the defending MVP, and those numbers. Dustin's going to say something about a Thunder player, but those numbers, you have to say that's another MVP kind of season. 30 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists per game, averaging a triple-double. Jamal Murray also playing really well. Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon. Okay. Back to me. This is a tough series to predict. I think whoever wins this series, it's going 7. This is a great series to watch. I might show a little homer bias here because I'm going to pick the Nuggets on their home floor in Game 7. So even with the new coach stuff. So Dustin.
I think I'll take the inverse Clippers also in 7. I understand that makes it so that they have to win Game 7 in Denver, but still going to take that.
Yeah. Cody?
I'm going to copy Dustin. That's what I was thinking, Clippers in 7.
Okay. All right. Cody, do you want to take one or do you want to pass it to Dustin?
I'd rather pass it to Dustin. I'm going to sound like I have no idea what I'm talking about. So.
Okay.
All right. So the 3-6 matchup. We got the New York Knicks, and who is this other team? I don't think I've seen them in the playoffs in 20 years. The Detroit Pistons back in the playoffs. First time having a winning record in almost 10 years. The Pistons, the good 2-point percentage allowed. They're very good defending inside the 3. And then the bad is that they turn the ball over a lot. They are a young team. The Knicks, slowest pace in the NBA. The good, number 5 in field goal percentage. They make a lot of shots, and number 5 in turnovers. And the bad is they allow a lot of 3-pointers. All right, next. The Pistons, their young core of Cade Cunningham. A most improved candidate, I believe. An all-star this year. We got Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris, and Osar Thompson. They're all having a wonderful, wonderful impact on this team, led by Cade Cunningham. Over on the other side, Jalen Brunson. We've talked about him a lot this year during our podcast, both history and on the Knicks. OG Anunoby having a great year. Karl Anthony Towns, who traded last year over from the Timberwolves, making a great impact. And Josh Hart, another Villanova guy.
Okay. One thing I wanted to point out here is that the Pistons actually won the season series 3-1 over the Knicks. So it's just no matter what, the Pistons obviously want to win, but this is just a great story and a great season for the Pistons.
Yeah, I'm incredibly happy for the Pistons. I hope that they continue to see success over the next year, especially given what's about to happen in this series.
It's your turn, by the way.
Yep. So with that, I think that the experience on the Knicks side, there's a lot of playoff experience there. And I'm afraid that that's going to be a little too much. Knicks win the series, and they sweep it.
Okay. Cody?
So I was thinking Knicks are going to win this one as well because of the turnover differential. They're better at turnovers, and Detroit's losing turnovers often. But I think it's going to take one more game, 5.
Yeah, I mean, I bet everyone outside of New York City wants to see the Pistons win this series. It's just so fun to see them back. They're not going to, but I'm gonna copy Cody here and say that they do get one of those home games. They win one of their home games in a really tight game. They're overmatched in this series, but it's still just going to be fun. Okay, the other 3-6 matchup between the Timberwolves and the Lakers, best of 7 series as well. The Timberwolves finished the season winning 8 of their last 9. They're pretty hot right now. The Lakers are 11-3 since trading for Luka. They're really hot since trading for one of the best players in the NBA. They split the season series with Minnesota 2-2. The good Minnesota was the number 1 defense last year. They've dropped a little bit this year. They're number 6 in defensive rating, number 5 in points allowed, number 4 in 3-point percentage. They're still a really good defense. They turn the ball over quite a bit. The Lakers get to the free throw line a lot, number 3 in free throw attempts. They're not the greatest free throw shooting team, but they get there a lot. They don't get a lot of offensive rebounds. So whatever that's worth. Anthony Edwards has had another great season. He's improved his shooting as well, getting close to 40% from 3. He's improved his shooting. He's a great shooter. They traded for Julius Randle. They swapped Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle, and Randle's scored almost 20 points per game over there. Rudy Gobert averaging a double-double. Jaden McDaniels is going to be a key player because he's the one that's going to likely guard Luka. He's the best perimeter defender over there. He could also be on LeBron. They could switch on either one of them, but he's important for them. LeBron, how old is he now? 41?
40.
Something like that. Just 40. Okay. 40 years old and still averaging those numbers, 24.4, 7.8, 8.2. He's just ridiculous. Luka in his 13 games over there at LA, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He's played fantastic over there. And Austin Reeves, 20 points per game as well.
So make a comment on that. Go back to the Lakers thing.
Sure.
So, have to say what a terrible off year from LeBron James. It's the first time in 20 years that he has not averaged at least 25 points per game. The last time he averaged less than 25 points per game was in 2004.
When Luka was 1.
Yeah. We're talking about 20 consecutive years of being the best player in the NBA.
Yeah.
You can't say enough.
Yeah. Okay, we're over to Cody.
First thing I'll say is when you're asking about the age for LeBron, Dustin corrected you, said 40. You're like, oh, just 40. I don't think there's a just about it. It's not just 40. He's 40 years old and still doing what Dustin was just saying. So that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I mean, from what I've seen and what I've heard, which who knows what that is exactly, the Lakers are unstoppable with Luka and LeBron. And so I'm just going to try to be smart here and say Lakers are going to win this one. And they'll win it in 5. Minnesota's going to get one lucky game.
Okay. I think obviously there's a lot of what ifs and all that, but if this series did not have Luka, I think the Timberwolves win the series. But they do. So what ifs, throw all that down the drain. The Lakers will win this series. I'm gonna say they'll do it in 6. I think the Timberwolves are gonna give them a little bit of problems. So, Dustin.
Yeah, I'll say Lakers as well. Cody, similar to you, I think that there's one game in which, Anthony Edwards goes off. He scores, 48 or something like that, and the Timberwolves get a 10-point win. Every other game goes to the Lakers. So Lakers in 5.
Okay. This one's a little bit different, obviously, because we don't know who the Cavs are playing yet. So it's either going to be the Heat or the Bulls. So we can skip this for now. But I do want to highlight a couple of things. Whose turn is it? Mine or yours? I think it's yours. So
yeah, I'll take this one away. So just talking about the Cavaliers, best record since 2009, 64 wins is absolutely incredible. Great win percentage there. The good, they're the number 1 scoring team, number 1 in points, number 2 in 3-point, number 1 in 2-point, number 3 in field goal allowed. They don't rebound the ball offensively. Well, that's because they're getting the ball in the hoop a lot, right?
yeah.
Right. Donovan Mitchell, obviously the offensive leader on this team, and kind of one of the attitude of the team. Fantastic score. Then you got the 2-headed monster of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, both fantastic down low, both fantastic scorers and rebounders. And then Darius Garland in the other guard position, also scoring 20 points per game. This is a double two-headed monster in both the guards and the forward center position.
Yeah. And then obviously I only have the Cavs up here because they're either going to play the Heat or the Hawks. And so I'm stealing Dustin's team here. So I'll talk about Dustin's team and do the best I can. We also don't know who the Thunder are going to play. They're either playing the Grizzlies or the Mavericks. 68-14. That is one of the best records in NBA history, let alone franchise history. It's the best record in franchise history, going back to even when they were the Supersonics. They've never had that kind of record. Average age is 24.1. They're the youngest team in the NBA and are still 68-14. The good, there's a bunch of it. They turn the ball over the least of any team in the NBA, and they turn the ball over more than any other team. So they don't turn the ball over, and they turn others over. That's a +6 almost turnovers every game. That's insane. To average that. Also, they're the best free throw shooting team, so don't put them at the free throw line. They're also the best defense on field goal percentage. It's hard to score on them. 43.6%. That's pretty dismal. And that's what they're holding teams to. Number 4 in points, number 3 in points allowed, number 1 in 3-point percentage allowed. They do everything well. Number 27 in free throw attempts allowed. They send teams to the line a lot. That's the bad. So, I mean, I read a statistic that their average margin of victory, not average, their total margin of victory, it was like 1,100 points this season, which is the most ever in NBA history. So that's how good this team has been this year.
Yeah, they didn't just win 68 games. They blew out 68 teams.
Yeah. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is probably going to win the MVP this year. He's the scoring leader, 32.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6.4 assists, as well as almost 2 steals and 90% from the free throw line. He's probably the MVP. It's either going to be him or Nikola Jokic is going to win his third. It goes down to those two. Chet Holmgren is a little banged up. I don't know, Dustin, if you know if he's going to make it to the first game or not, but he's a little banged up.
He's expected to play. They're expected to have a full roster on Sunday, but it's something to watch out for. As this Thunder team has not been healthy all season. They've struggled with injuries all season long.
Yeah. Jalen Williams, 21 points per game. Lou Dort is an excellent defender. 10 points per game is not much. He's also their best 3-point shooter, though, from percentage-wise. So anyway, again, we don't know whether they're playing the Mavericks or the Grizzlies.
Just a thought really quick about that. Dustin mentioned something about how the Thunder, they've been dealing with injuries, the whole year. And what I find interesting is you say that, and yet they are still the best team, which tells me that they have amazing depth that everybody can play and everybody can do it their part. So when you say that they've been suffering with injuries all year, my answer is so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. The last two, Dustin, I'll let you handle a Western Conference team for the first time.
Yep. We got the Golden State Warriors who's that again? The Houston Rockets. Not only are they back in the playoffs, but the number 2 team in the West. This was unexpected. Well, yeah, it's unexpected. We talked about the beginning of the season, how we expected great things out of the Rockets in years to come. And then here they are, number 2 team in the West this year. Incredible. Go ahead. The Warriors defeated Memphis in the play-in game in order to secure the 7th seed. Some of the things they're good at. They're very good at sharing the ball. Good in assists, good in steals, good in rebounds, and good in defense. Not to mention they have, a Mount Rushmore player on their team. And then the bad at free throw percentage and bad at points allowed. They do a lot of points. Versus the Rockets. The Rockets did lose the season series to Golden State. This is a tough matchup for them. but they are good in rebounds, both offensive and total, and good defensive team, number 4 in defensive rating. And the bad is scoring inside the 3-point line. It's tough for them, 27th. All right, on the left side with the Warriors, you got Stephen Curry, that Mount Rushmore kind of guy, having 24 and 6 this season. Jimmy Butler, who came over a couple of months ago and since has been averaging 18 points. And he's playoff Jimmy is one of the best players in the NBA. We should expect some good things from him. Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga. Over on the right side, Jalen Green. If you want to be entertained, just look up Jalen Green dunks. Like, this fan can. And then Alperen Sengun is a fantastic player, can make it from all over the court, but is surprisingly strong given how skinny he is. And then Fred VanVleet is a fantastic scorer. Dylan Brooks is a wonderful defender as well as a great shooter.
Where did we leave off? It's my turn. Okay. You said it at the very beginning, Dustin. This is a bad matchup for the Rockets, unfortunately. They've had a great season and all of that. With the Warriors adding Jimmy Butler and already having some struggles against them, I actually see this one going to the 7th seed. I think the Warriors are winning this series. It's not going to be easy. I'm taking 6 games. They'll win on their home floor before sending it back to Houston. But I'm taking Warriors in 6. Dustin?
Yeah, it's looking at that, it is a bad matchup, but this is a team that won a lot of games and did really well. The Warriors were outside of the playoffs 2 months ago, and were able, by giving Jimmy Butler, able to get back in and get into the play-in tournament and then win that. And so don't want to discount what the Warriors have done, but the Rockets have been good all season long. And I think they have a little bit of momentum on their side for that reason. And so I think I will take the Rockets, but I know that it's either 6 or 7 games. I'm not sure which one to say there. I think I'll err on the side of history and say 6 games.
What history is that?
Just game 7s don't happen very often.
Okay, gotcha. Cody?
So I'm leaning towards the Rockets as well, but I think it will go to 7, Dustin.
Okay. All right, and now the Magic against the Celtics, the other 2-7. The Magic just won the play-in game against Atlanta to get to the 7th seed. Again, they are the best defense in terms of points allowed per game, 105 points allowed. They lead the NBA in blocks. They're number 2 defensive rating, 109.6 points per 100 possessions allowed. That's pretty good. The bad, though, they don't score very much. They only score 105 points per game. You can see they 105.4 to 105.5 is what they do. That's why they're 41 and 41. When you allow the same amount of points that you score, you end up with a 500 record. So, but that's what they've done. They're just not the very good offensive team. Meanwhile, the Celtics won 60 games for the 2nd straight year. They're the defending NBA champions. They're number 2 in turnovers. They're number 2 in points allowed. They're also a good defense. Number 3 in 3-point percentage allowed. Number 3 in 2-point percentage allowed. The bad, they get to the free throw line fewer than any other team in the NBA. They do not get to the free throw line. And they also don't turn the ball over very much. Despite it being a good defense, they don't turn the ball over. They don't force turnovers. They just play good defense the whole possession. Orlando did win the season series 2-1 over the Celtics, but one of those games was when the Celtics rested all 5 of their starters, just like last week. And so really it's tied 1-1 because that doesn't really count. So anyway, Paolo Banchero, 26 points per game along with 8 rebounds. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope doesn't score a lot, but he and 34.2% being the best 3-point shooter, that's not a very good percentage. So just don't look at that. They're not going to score from three. Franz Wagner at 24 points per game as well. Goga Bitadze, 1.4 blocks. On the other side, Jason Tatum has had another great season. I don't know if he'll be the third guy in the MVP race or not. There's been talk about that, but I don't know. 26.8 points, 8.7 rebounds, 6 assists. He leads in all three categories for the Celtics. He's as good as they come. Jaylen Brown is last year's NBA Finals MVP, so he's really good too. Kristaps Porzingis, 20 points, 41%, and Derek White, 16 points per game. So over to Dustin.
Yeah, to talk more about the Celtics. So a few things. Celtics made, let's see what my final number here is. They made 1,457 3-pointers this season. NBA record. Fantastic 3-point shooting team. I mean, you can only put 4 players on there, but they have so many great players outside of the 4 that you put on your card. I would mention Peyton Pritchard, the big name I'd mention outside of it. I just don't see how the Magic can keep up with the Celtics in any way. I'm saying Celtics, and I think I'm going to say clean sweep.
Rory?
So I've got a quick question first. You mentioned that with the Celtics, that they get to the free throw line the least of any other team. Is that correct?
Yes.
That means that they are fouled the least.
Yes.
Okay. How is that? How does that happen? Because being fouled is what the other team does, and if every other team doesn't foul them, I just don't understand the equation there. How does that work?
Part of it is that Dustin just mentioned it. They're a big 3-point shooting team. They're not going into the lane all that much, so they're not attacking to get to the free throw line. They're not getting all of that, and so the only reason it's listed under the bad is because those are free points. So it's not necessarily a bad thing because it's within the framework of their offense that they're trying to get open shots versus trying to go into the rim. But still, they're a really good free throw shooting team, and they're not getting there very often. And so they have to score within the offense rather than rely on points at the line.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, with that all being said, I think I'm just gonna echo Dustin. I think I'm just gonna copy Celtics in 4. I think that there might be 1 or 2 very close games, but other than that, it's just still a clean sweep.
At risk of hearing an echo, here's your echo. So Celtics in 4, I think. The Magic, kind of disappointed in them this season. I think we all thought that they were going to be a lot better this year. Offensively, they just can't keep up with the Celtics, and so it's too bad. But we'll see how the game actually goes. That's the last one for the first round. We'll keep track of this as it goes throughout, and we'll also offline predict these two after tomorrow's games to find out who plays the Cavs and who plays the Thunder.
Yeah, with the Magic, they're a great defensive team, but I'm afraid that their offensive capabilities just can't keep up with the runs that the Celtics go on. They can defend well, but then all of a sudden they hit 3 threes, in a minute, and boom, 10-point lead right there.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I'm going to switch over. We're not going to get through the whole AFC East either, so we're just going to get as far as we go. I missed something last week, and I'm just going to show you very quickly. I missed the colors, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to show you the colors that I missed. So the Rams, Puka Nacua, Jared Verse. The Niners, Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, And now we arrive here. Cody.
All right. Seattle Seahawks, best team. Just kidding. Obviously not. They were 10-7, 2023 record or 2023.
Whoops.
What's that?
2024. Should say 2024.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, yeah, my brain didn't even think about that. 2024 season, they went 10-7, second in the NFC West. This is Mike McDonald's first season, so I'd say it's fairly good first season. However, they were 18th in points per game, 11th in points per game against. In defense, pretty good in defense, very good there. The offensive best was passing yards. Offensive worst rushing yards are 28th in that, which is dismal. Defensive best was points and drives allowed. They were 5th there, and defensive worst was yards per carry allowed. They were 25th. Geno Smith was quarterback. He did pretty good, 70%. That's kind of like the mark you want to aim for as quarterback in the league. So he did really good in percentage completed. 4,300 yards, 21 touchdowns, but up to 15 interceptions. That is not okay. So he did good enough, but he's just not elite. So the weapons they have, Zach Charbonnet was really the main running back there, while K9 was sitting out. He didn't even reach 600 yards, and that was probably because they were splitting carries fairly often. He did score 8 touchdowns. He's kind of like the bruising back in the at the goal line, so that'd be why. DK Metcalf, almost 1,000 yards. Tyler Lockett, 600 yards, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba kind of had another breakout season, over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and Noah Fant was the main tight end for the Seahawks. Offensive line, Charles Cross has done pretty well for the most part over there, but the line did struggle with a lot of injuries, and so because of that, Geno Smith, dealt with sacks and throwing under pressure, which probably would be one of the reasons he threw 15 interceptions. Other than mentioning Charles Cross, there's probably not a whole lot of other things I need to mention here. Defensive line, Leonard Williams. Remind me, is that all pro second team?
That is some first team votes. No, wait. Yes, some first team votes.
Okay, all right. Leonard Williams, also known as Big Cat, did very well. 11 sacks, 16 TFLs, 64 tackles, and an interception. That was an awesome play, by the way, if you guys remember that. That was really cool. He took it back like 90 yards or something. 3 pass deflections and a touchdown from that. Jaron Reed did well also, and then Draymond Jones. They combined there for, 19, 20 sacks, somewhere around there. So they did pretty well. Linebacking core, Derek Hall had 2 forced fumbles, fumble return and a touchdown, as well as 8 sacks. They all had pretty good numbers, which means they're getting through the defensive line a lot. But having good numbers like that means that the secondary didn't have a whole lot of work to do. The defense did pretty well overall, especially towards the end of the year. Secondary, Devin Witherspoon has always, really since he came in, has always been the bright spot in the defense right now. He's just a phenomenal corner. 98 tackles, 6 TFLs, a sack, forced fumble, 9 pass deflections. Surprisingly, no interceptions this year. Julian Love also was a standout safety. He did really, really well. He had 3 interceptions. You can look at all those numbers there. Kobe Bryant doing well. Tyreek Woolen also doing good. So this is a pretty good secondary for Seattle. For the offensive bench, just to mention, K9 is typically the starter. He's been dealing with some injuries lately, so we'll see what happens this year. Jake Bobo, although there's not a whole lot of numbers there, he is a reliable receiver when he does come out to play. Other than that, just a shout out for Satelo Maya from Utah. And defensive bench, Uchenna Nwosu is always really good when he's healthy. That's unfortunately, especially last year, is infrequent. I think he played maybe a total of like 8 games or 7 games or something like that. In that time, though, he did have a TFL and a sack. Byron Murphy was okay. Expected a lot more out of a first-rounder draft pick. he didn't do as much as we would have hoped. Other than that, not much else to report on. Special teams, Jason Myers missed 4 field goals and was 37-40 an extra point. So good, pretty good. I wouldn't say great, but pretty good. And then Michael Dixon, always a very good punter. He's averaging about 50 yards, 76 punts, and then 31 of those punts were within the 20. So it's a good amount, but not quite half. Mike McDonald's first season there. I think that overall in his first season he did well, especially with the defense. Ryan Grubb was let go. He just wasn't very creative with the plays. He had some good plays, but it wasn't a lot. So as you can see, there's 18 points, nothing really sticking out. And Aiden Durde just is kind of there. I've never understood what he does because he's not really calling any plays, but he's there.
This is stopping for discussion, Cody.
I think overall, playing in the NFC West, it is a competitive division. And in a first year for Mike McDonald going second, really tying the record of the first place Rams, and really tied the record. And the Rams were able to get that ticket punch to the playoffs. So they did well. I think they're looking good overall, especially on defense for years ahead. But they really need to focus, I think, on the offense in the draft and things like that. They did they traded Geno away as well as DK Metcalf, really building around Jackson Smith-Jigba. They brought Sam Darnold in, and perhaps that's going to be part of the discussion as well. What you guys think about it? But I think overall it's looking like it'll be bright, but they're not competing for championships or anything like that anytime soon. But they could be competing for a divisional title. We'll see.
Yeah, for me, obviously they're reshaping everything. 10-7 is still good, but it wasn't good enough to make the playoffs. That's what they want to do. They feel they can still compete, and so we'll talk about all the changes they make in the when we talk season preview. But yeah, they're obviously going all in on hoping that Sam Darnold has the magic that he had for Minnesota this year, bringing Cooper Kupp over as well to hope that he's the Justin Jefferson to this year. So. I mean, I like their moves. We'll have to see what they do in the draft here next week. But overall, I think that this team overachieved this year. I didn't expect them to be quite as good, and it just they have the danger possibly of being in this zone where they're not bad enough to rebuild, but not good enough to compete. And so, what do you do with that situation? You have to make a choice. So.
Yeah, I would echo a lot of things. Which is they had a really good season, especially compared to their expectations. With a brand new coach and and not much else. And so really good season, but ultimately they decided that there has to be a rebuild that goes. And so they play in one of the toughest divisions in the league, and so choosing to do a rebuild, you got to expect it to look like a rebuild.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen real quick on a different screen so you can see how this looked. Every single one of us picked the Niners to win that division, and in fact, they finished last. Dustin was the only one that picked the Seahawks to finish second, and that's where they did. And Dad and I were the only ones that picked the Cardinals to finish third. So we were all bad on this one.
Yeah.
So Cody and Yancey got nothing right. So yeah. Okay, stop sharing that one. And technically this next one would be Yancey's. So if you don't mind, I will take control of it real quick and run through it as quickly as I can. The Buffalo Bills, a lot of people expected them to take a step back this year. Instead, they were right where they normally are, 13-4, winning the division and losing the Chiefs in the playoffs. I mean, that's exactly what the Bills do. So their best, though, was a change because they used to be really bad at turnovers. Josh Allen would turn it over. Instead, they were the best in the NFL, turning over the ball. Only 8 turnovers all season long. Number 1 in the NFL. Josh Allen, MVP of the year of the league last year, 63%, 28 touchdowns against just 6 interceptions. Clearly the best season of his career. Added 12 more on the ground. That's the total of 40 touchdowns last year. James Cook went to the Pro Bowl. Khalil Shakir was fantastic for them. Dawson Knox, Matt Collins, Keon Coleman, the other ones there. Deion Dawkins and Connor McGovern were both honored at the end of the season with some stuff. Deion Dawkins, despite 10 penalties, by the way, that's a ton of penalties for a guy that gets a lot of laud because he is just so good. Even though he commits a lot of penalties, he wins. Gregory Rousseau had 8 sacks. He's the best of this bunch up front. AJ Epinesa had a safety in there. The linebacker core, Terrell Bernard had 104 tackles. Dorian Williams had 117. A couple of really good linebackers there. Christian Benford, he was drafted in the 6th round the year that Kaiir Elam was taken in the 1st. Kaiir Elam is essentially gone. Like, he hasn't done much, and Christian Benford is the one that is now getting all-pro consideration. So Taron Johnson is one of the best slot corners in the league. And there we have to mention DeMar Hamlin. Remember, he died on the field for a couple of minutes and then came back and had 89 tackles and 2 interceptions. So offensive bench, I don't have much. Yeah. Offensive bench, I don't have a whole lot to mention. Amari Cooper did come over in a trade halfway through the year, had 2 touchdowns. Dalton Kincaid, 44 catches, 2 touchdowns. Defensive bench there. Von Miller and Matt Milano were both hurt, so they had to have some other guys step up at linebacker. Tyler Bass missed only 5 field goals. Sam Martin, 39.8 net. Sean McDermott in his 8th season, 86-45. Again, first in turnovers. And he got Joe Brady to do second in points over there on the offensive side. Defense wasn't quite as good, but these Bills, Sean McDermott is a heck of a coach, getting that team to overachieve what most people thought that they were going to take a step back and completely fall out of that contention. So that's my discussion there is what do you think? Like, everyone expected the Bills to take a step back, and instead they were right where they were supposed to be. What was it? Just Josh Allen playing so much better, or were there other things considered? And what do we think about going forward? Or are we back in the saddle saying that they're going to take another step back, or is it just this team is full steam ahead again? My thought is that I think they're still the favorites to win this kind of weak division, really, in Buffalo, in the AFC East. They just have to figure out a way to win in the playoffs against a bugaboo.
Go ahead, Dustin.
My thoughts go to the conversation that we've had in teasing Cody a little bit. And I guess just the one thing that I would say is I can't think of a better, coaching staff roster than what they have to give them the best chance of getting to the Super Bowl and then winning it. And so, I'm continuing to stay with, stay strong in the roster and the staff that you have. Build around it, but you have your core staff, and just build around that and keep at it, and eventually it's going to come.
I think that while Josh Allen is obviously a huge and key integral part of it, I think the Bills, everyone on the team is good. There's not a whole lot of what I would consider amazing elite star talent other than maybe Josh Allen. But that also means that there isn't a lot of dips in talent in places. And so because of being led by one could say an elite leader and then an entire team of really good talent, that makes a team that's formidable year in and year out. And so, yeah, I do think a big part of it was Josh Allen, but obviously we can't disregard everyone else, including the coaching staff. Other than that, I wouldn't be able to name any specific thing that did it. But I would expect them to to still be contenders until they're not. I'm not sure when that'll be.
Okay. Let's see how quickly we can go. Cody, we're back to you.
Already. Wow. Okay. Dolphins. So in 2024, they went 8-9. They went 8-9, second in the AFC East again, and kind of like you just said, this is a weak division. If your second is 8-9, that's pretty bad. Their offensive best was average plays per drive. They were 9th there. Rushing yards was worst, and best defense was first downs allowed, only allowing 18, 19-ish per game. And then they're terrible at turnovers forced, awful at it. Tua Tagovailoa. You have to remind me, was he injured again? I think he was, right? He's getting to a point where he's injured every year.
He doesn't remember either.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be another discussion, but he really needs to think about his health at this point. But he 72%, like I said before, that's really kind of at that mark, a little bit above it, that they want to be at. 2,800 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 receptions. Overall, fairly good numbers.
He thinks his name is Utah.
Yeah. As far as the weapons go, John O. Smith is really the one to call out here in this weapons area. 88 receptions, 884 yards, and 8 touchdowns for a Pro Bowl invite. And Jalen Waddle had 744 yards, only 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, almost 1,000 yards with 6 touchdowns. And Devon, I think it is, a chain. Is a pretty good running back for them. He's almost had 1,000 yards there, but also had a lot of receiving yards there for them too. Offensive line, not a whole lot to mention. Terran Armstead is always, a big man up front, really good and strong. Only 81% of snaps though this last year, so has some injury issues going on there. Other than that, I mean, nothing really to point out. Defensive line. Let's see here. So I'd say they all have good numbers. And when everyone is having a share in forced fumbles and fumble recoveries, things like that, that's really good in the defensive front. Zach Seiler, I actually don't really know that name, but he had 13 TFLs, 10 sacks is really important to point out. Interception, and forced fumble, some fumble recoveries. They all have some sacks as well, so pretty good there. Jordan Brooks, miss him. I wish he didn't go anywhere, but he's with them now. He had 143 tackles, 7 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 6 pass deflections. Emmanuel Ogba did pretty well as well. Chop Robinson, we can see more from him. I'm not sure if it was injury related or if he was just kind of a second string there, but that's probably likely. The secondary, there's really Jalen Ramsey, Jevon Holland, and Kader Kohu. I hope I said that right. Koho, whatever. They all average kind of between close to 50 to 60 tackles, and doing well with their TFLs, interceptions, pass deflections, some sacks. They are getting a lot of action back there as far as tackles go, which means those running backs and cross receiving routes are getting deeper than they would want. Offensive bench, got to shout out Tyler Huntley, of course. Did terrible there, but anyway, calling him out. And Odell Beckham Jr. on his, I think, 21st team now. I'm not sure what's going on there, but other than that, I'm not sure if there's anything else to really call out here. Defensive bench. Anthony Walker had a sack and an interception. They've all kind of participated in small, simple ways, but nothing.
Don't forget about the best name in all of football.
Storm Duck. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. I missed it.
By the way, the second best name in all of football is the Colts offensive coordinator, Jim Bob Cooter.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. All right. For special teams, Jason Sanders, 37-41 there, 26-28. So pretty good on extra points and can do a little bit better on field goals, but overall he did pretty good. He only missed 4. Jake Bailey, a punter, 56 punts, averaging 47. 22 of those were within the 20. the head coaching staff. Mike McDaniel, his third season, he's 28-23. He's on thin ice, I'm sure, at this point. So we'll see how things go. Frank Smith, also third season, 22 points. Or sorry, excuse me, 22nd in points. Really not a good thing, and he's probably looking at the guillotine soon if he doesn't work on that a little bit more. Anthony Weaver, 10th in points, 4th in yards, doing a little bit better on the defensive side as it is his first season, so he's had some time there to stay there.
Any discussion, Cody?
I guess really other than the question of what can the Dolphins be doing, and have they been doing it in the offseason? I know we can probably talk about that more later on, but I think that I don't know what it is, but they need to be doing something else to prepare for their division.
They need to play in the summer because they're really bad when it gets to cold weather. Like they do not play well outside of Miami in the cold weather, and it's just like Tua cannot play in the cold weather, and so I don't know how to solve that. I don't know how to fix that, and so. But something's got to change. I don't know what.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with the Dolphins' fall off. I think that I think I had predicted them in the Super Bowl. Looking at their weapons and what they're poised to do, this was a team that I expected to, win 13 or 14 games and get to the Super Bowl. And it's very disappointing what ended up happening. Cody, like you said, Mike McDaniel is on thin ice. Luckily, he's a very skinny guy, so it'll take a while to break, but he's definitely there.
Yeah. Okay, Dustin, 10 minutes to do the Patriots and 5 minutes for discussion, and we'll call it.
All right. The Patriots did not have a good year, 4-13. It was head coach Jared Mayo's first and only year, right? And you can look at some of the things that they did not do very well at all. They did not score. They did not move the ball. They did not defend at all. The best thing that they did was a yards per carry on average. That's not a great statistic to be 13th as your best. And defensive best was passing yards allowed. It's because teams got early leads and could just run the ball, I guess. This team struggled a lot. Drake May, 2,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. When it comes to, a first year, that's not bad. 66% is not bad. And so it is interesting to see what's going to happen, in years to come. If you can get over 3,000 and over 20 touchdowns, that's what we should expect.
He went to the Pro Bowl.
I was going to say, how many quarterbacks declined going to the Pro Bowl to allow him to go?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Here with the offensive weapons, nobody specifically to call out. Ramondre Stevenson, though, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. There for the offensive line, struggled with some injuries, didn't play very much, and lots of penalties across the board.
This is the worst offensive line in football this year. They were awful.
Here on the defensive line, again, we're not going to see very many colors here, but a lot of tackles there on the defensive line, which you don't see very much. So that's supposedly good. The linebacking core, lots of good tackles there. Jaylani Tabai with 115 tackles. That's impressive, but no recognition from the league on their accomplishments. And then in the secondary, Marcus Jones with 58, interception, 10 passes defended. He was also the punt returner and had a good, strong average there. Christian Gonzalez got some votes there with those 11 passes defended. For the backups, Jacoby Brissett did have a little bit of playing time there, and Antonio Gibson did get over 500 yards rushing. But nobody else to call out. On the defensive secondary, Brandon Schuler. What does that color mean again?
Say first team All-Pro special teamer.
Okay, so special teams excellence there. But other than that, nobody else to call out. Here with the special teams crew, Joey Sly missed 7 field goals. That's too many to be missing. And Bryce Behringer punted it 70 times. That's a lot of punts. Jared Mayo fired after the first season. Decided to turn away from him after just one season. 4-13 records, not very good. And they're also moving away from their offensive coordinator. But DeMarcus Covington, I believe, is sticking around
so far. Although I think he's being demoted to linebackers coach because Mike Vrabel is going to be doing his own play calling.
Yeah.
So, okay, discussion.
So again, Patriots do not have a very good year. They're in a rebuilding stage. The best thing that they have going for them is that they're in a comparatively weak division there in the AFC East with one major threat there in the Bills, and so they did not do well at all this past season. They look forward to the change in order to see what they can do in the weak division next season.
Yeah. I just don't understand firing a coach after 1 year. I've never understood that unless there's really bad culture or something like that. I don't think that was the case here. I think Robert Kraft wanted Mike Vrabel the whole time anyway. I think that's what happened here. He's never going to say that. Obviously, Jared Mayo is a former Patriot. He's beloved in New England. He'll continue to be beloved in New England. But I think that Robert Kraft wanted Mike Vrabel last year and couldn't get him. And so he got him this year and forced Jared Mayo out because Mike Vrabel is a better coach. And I think it's a better situation for them. I think Mike Vrabel is an excellent football coach. And so it'll be better for them long term. It just sucks for Jared Mayo because he didn't do anything necessarily wrong. You couldn't expect him to win 8 games with this Patriots team. So he didn't do anything wrong. It's just that Mike Vrabel became available.
I think I have to just agree with everything that's been said so far. I mean, it's just a dumpster fire over there. I have nothing else to say.
Okay, I don't think I have time to do the Jets. I could try, but I don't think I will. So we'll start with the Jets whenever we do. We are meeting next week. Cody, you're gone in 2 weeks, right? So, okay. So next week we'll look at NBA playoffs. We'll be looking at NBA playoffs for the next 2 months, but that'll be part of what we do. We'll try to finish this division and the NFC South as well. And we'll also talk about the NFL draft, which will be happening that night. And so we'll be looking at a little bit of the NFL draft as well during that. So that's a little bit of lineup next week. Actually, when is Bob coming for baseball? Is that next week?
Potentially. We don't know yet for sure. He's checking with things. He'll let me know before Tuesday.
Okay, so we may have to reshuffle some things whenever Bob comes, but we'll definitely talk NBA playoffs. That is something that we can't not talk about. The other ones can be moved. So, yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll talk offline and next week.
Bye.